LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking the pass and blitz. We're talking the jump and switch. We're talking the pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 outs. Bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery. You're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round. Who gets in the mat? Legacy. You want a legacy. You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
Yo, what's up in the hood? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Episode 274 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I'm your man, Darrell Owens, and over here, Jay Quimby. There he is.
I thought it was 277 because last one was 276.
No.
Yeah.
That was 273.
276.
Look, I know it's been a while since we've been on.
Learn to count.
I know it's been a while since we've been on here, but
This what the never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were going to say.
From now on, we need to start letting DJ keep track because he counts better than both of us.
This is also true. That's something I got to get better as a person, is working on my numbers.
My numbers.
getting my numbers all tallied up.
867-309.
Yeah. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in with us today. We're glad to be with you on this lunchtime edition of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, and we're just glad to be here with you all. So today we're going to talk a little bit of some NFL stuff that's been going down in the hood. We've got to talk to some Deshawn Watson, talk some NFL free agency. Me and Jay are going to do our first round mock today, so that'll be going down as well today. And then, of course, we are going to, just, go over a couple other things and, see how everybody's doing out there.
Have fun.
Right. So, Jay, man, before we get rolling, man, how's everything been going? How you been doing?
Hey, Becca. Hi. One day at a time. One day at a time, brother.
Right. I definitely feel that sentiment. It's still, everything's still kind of been crazy here and there. So you take it where you can get it and just try not to, mess up too much, right?
Yeah, going almost 2 months since the cute one's been gone.
I know, man. It's been weird because, I was telling a friend of mine, I'm like, man, every time I think that, you don't think about something like that, we've lost so many people in the last year and a half. It just every time you think it just piles back up on you. So, I had the non-fun pleasure of getting my mom's tombstone the other day, like a couple weeks ago. So, it's something that you want to honor, but it's still like, ugh, it's
it's
crazy.
not something that anybody wants to do, but
Exactly.
you want to get it right.
Exactly. So I love what we got going for Mom. It's going to be beautiful. So now let's get into some sports. It's we're going to start this one off with none other, and we've talked about him in the last 4 shows, Deshawn Watson, because he's been the biggest talk. We didn't see this coming.
No, nobody saw this
No
coming.
one saw this coming. The situation is really weird, Jay.
It getting out of hand.
Yes.
To a certain point. I mean, there's so many question marks and it's more of sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, nowadays there's such a fine line on what's considered flirting and sexual harassment.
Right.
I could look at you and say, you look beautiful today, and you could take that as sexual harassment.
I could be like, how dare you, sir?
And that, I mean, and the numbers are staggering.
Right.
And they keep coming forward, and not saying that possibly he could have done this, but it's just really ironic that it's now when he's requesting a trade, wanting to leave, and the ties with the lawyer to the owner of the Texans.
The timing is miserable.
Yeah.
First of all, quick love to Steven Atkins. Good to see you, brother. The Inside Blitz. TC in the building. TC, I see you getting married, man. Congratulations. Patriots 12-4. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, the Patriots are loading up, and we're going to get to that. The Patriots have loaded up, so we are definitely going to get to that. But with Deshaun Watson, man,
Thanks for Tom Brady.
Right? Thanks for Thomas, baby. I will say this. We look at everything that's going on with Watson, and there's something weird about it. You know, I saw a quote-unquote text message of everything that went down or what the girl said that he said to him. And to be honest with you, for me, I was like, if this is the only evidence you got that you're going to show, this ain't really good evidence. I mean, because it didn't even really seem like he said anything bad to her. He asked her pretty much like, hey, you know, is it okay if we do this? I was like, that's asking for consent. So, I mean, unless there's a text message where she said yes or no, and that we didn't see that part, but he definitely asked if it was okay, and I'm like,
right.
Oh, they wildin', man. So, look, I'm not saying that he didn't do something.
But you said earlier, you think more of this would have come out when he signed that huge contract.
Right.
Because he rolling in the money.
Right, because when he signed the contract, that would have been the time. In my opinion, most times you when somebody makes something big like that, that's when it happens. But just like, you know, it kind of with Ray Rice, and I know we go to Ray, but Ray Rice was getting his life pretty much like they had already kind of got everything settled, and he was about to go back into the league, and then all of a sudden, boom, hammer drop. Here's a video. TMZ said, Merry Christmas. And this has almost kind of like that feel. Like I feel like the trade talks are heating up. The Texans have said over and over again, we don't want to trade you, you know. And then they haven't been kind of vague about the situation because if you listen to them, they make it sound like, well, this is, you know, we're surprised by this. And they haven't condemned him. You know, it's just weird.
It's
I don't
like
know,
they're
man.
trying to make him undesirable for everybody else.
Right.
So he has nowhere else to
and
go.
then he stays. And
Yes.
don't be surprised if all of these, you know, lawsuits magically disappear in about a month or two, right before the season starts, when the trade interest has ran away because they're like, look, we got to prepare ourselves for the season. Now, if that happens, then I'll be like, all right, now that's ridiculous. But now, obviously, if these are true, man, shame on Deshaun Watson, man. You got to look, man. Nowadays, with the way the culture is,
Protect yourself.
Protect yourself, man. You know, first of all, you making money. You don't need to do this. Like, you know, you're making money. You don't need to beg for women. I know that sounds sexist or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but he's at a point in his life that there are women out there that will just flock to you because you have money.
Well,
There's no need for you to go and do all this. That's crazy.
I agree, but your stage of your life, your career, focus football.
Right.
You're young. Yes, maybe you want other things in the future. All things will come to you in time.
Exactly. So that was like for me. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I look at it and say, this is crazy to me. I just think that, you know, whatever ends up, I got a weird feeling that he's going to be a Texan next year. And if a trade does happen, I'll be shocked at this point.
I don't think he'll play one game.
You don't think he'll play next year?
Nope. I believe he is going to be a man of his word. He doesn't want to play for the Texans.
Right.
He may not get traded, but he won't play.
Wouldn't it be weird, and this is just me I'm having a Rob Johnson moment here. I'm going to go real conspiracy. Wouldn't it be weird if they just did this just so he could be like, you know what, y'all, you know, we're here for you. You know, we got your back. And it makes it look like they care a lot for him just for him to stay. Yep. Boy, I swear. I swear. That thing would be wild, brother. But as we've been doing on all the shows lately, once we hear more about Deshaun Watson, we'll let you know. I mean, it's just been the hottest topic in sports. So, I mean, just trying to figure out what's going to be next. And I kind of hate this for him if it's not true.
Absolutely. I mean, having your name dragged through the mud for something you didn't do is one of the worst things. But you, most of the time, are able to come out of it a better person. Exactly.
So hopefully he'll be out of it. We'll figure out. We're talking about one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL now, unless the Texans are just trying to get rid of his contract altogether. But we'll see.
But I know like 10 teams that would gladly take that contract with that quarterback.
Well, all day. You know, I mean, Deshaun Watson has proven himself on the field.
Waiting for either him or Wilson to get traded.
Right.
And I don't think either one's going to happen.
I don't think Wilson. My heart tells me Wilson's definitely not get traded. They said the Bears offered quite a bit for him. They offered like 3 first-round picks and some other stuff, and they just didn't go. But I didn't see the Wilson trading happen, in my opinion. I feel like he's done too much in that Washington, Oregon area. And they got a team. Him and his, Sierra are getting a team up there. It's a lot that's going on. I don't see that happening right away. Deshawn just made more sense. All right, now let's swing over to NFL free agency. Now, NFL free agency, Jay, I know you're a happy man right now because, you're bringing back all your guys. Have you lost anybody?
No, not officially yet.
Right.
So, for me, the biggest part that's still missing, I want to bring back, playoff Lenny.
Right.
Definitely want him. AB, for me, wide receivers are wide receivers. As long as they, Scotty Miller showed up big in quite a few games. Tyler Johnson had some catches. He did have some drops. But this wide receiver class that we look at is deep also. So what AB wants or could get in, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about people offering him anything in the open market.
Well, I mean, like I said, you look at something's going to give. I think he will be back there. I'll be very surprised if he's not back with Tampa Bay. Maybe the only other team I can probably see him going to is Seattle because I know there was a lot of talks with Seattle at one point and maybe Baltimore.
I apologize. I do remember reading that Wilson was pushing to get AB there.
Right. He was that's the only other team I think that would probably make a real push for him, unless Pittsburgh has some weird moment of truth, and I don't see that happening.
but see, Juju is not going back there, and they got Washington and.
No, Juju signed. Juju,
did he?
1 year, $8 million. Took less money. He took This is what bothered me about Juju.
He punked out.
This is what bothered me about the Juju situation. Juju had offers from. Because me and Russ, and I think Russ, and Rob, we all had an argument in our group chat about loyalty. I think, yeah.
I was in on it.
And Jay was in there. So in the argument about loyalty, I was like, loyalty is just not the same anymore. But if you're Juju, you had a chance to play with either Lamar Jackson, and you would have been the number one receiver, hands down. You would have been the main guy there. Or you could have been in Kansas City, who I heard offered more money. And you could have played with Patrick Mahomes. You could have took things to the next level. Ben Roethlisberger's at the end of his career, but I do appreciate the loyalty part of it. But I don't know if I would have went to Kansas City if it was me.
My biggest flaw, though, I will say, is my loyalty. Loyalty is something that's gotten lost in the last generation.
Right.
And for me, I mean, money is money. You can't take it with you to the hole.
No, you can't.
So for me, the legacy that you leave behind, your loyalty, your respect to others, kudos to him.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I give him that much credit, and Claypool had been his biggest cheerleader. Claypool was trying to get him back big time. He was like, look, man, he wanted them back, and they look like they got a good. That's a good deal to have that type of camaraderie with your teammates.
Right.
So I won't take that away from him. But still, I still look at it and say, man, like, dang, Pat Mahomes though, it's tough when they were trying to get him.
It's a 1-year deal, and you figure it's the last year with Ben.
Right, and I think he wants to try to see if they can make any magic happen. But you got to have a good year this year, though.
But maybe he wants to see if he can build something with Haskins.
It could be that too. Steven says AB and Leonard are still out there. For the most part, Tampa is keeping the band together. Juju is on a 1 year back with Pittsburgh, and he said Juju was supposed to go to the Jets. I know the Jets had offered him some nice money as well.
I wouldn't go to the Jets if they gave me all their bankroll.
Well, I mean, talking of the Jets, man, the Jets have been one of the teams that have had a really good offseason. I'll go over some of the players they've signed.
Now, is this one of your winners?
I would say, yes. I would say yes. Because I'll look at look at the players that they signed. Keelan Cole from Jacksonville, and Cole has some good moments down in Jacksonville, but no stability at the quarterback.
Right.
And then they're still kind of going in a situation where you don't really know who the quarterback's going to be just yet.
I heard people were trying to trade for Minshew.
I heard that too. Corey Davis, which he started the last 2 years, started to pick things up a little bit.
But you notice he only played good in the contract year.
Yeah, so we'll see if this 3-year, $37.5 million deal will, pan out in his favor. Tyler Kroft had some defensive moments in Buffalo. Here and there. Carl Lawson.
I like the Lawson sign.
If Lawson stays healthy, we saw what he could do last year when he's healthy and he's not banged up. He played well. LaMarcus Joyner, one of your guys, that you've always been a fan of. He signed
Put him with Marcus May.
Yep, Marcus May, who signed back. Gerard Davis signed a 1 year, $7 million. I think he was with Detroit. And then Sheldon Rankins. They signed Sheldon Rankins yesterday. Right. So I like what Coach Salay's doing because he's bringing in some good defensive players, and we know he's got a great defensive mind. So one of my winners, I'm going with the Jets.
Okay, I mean I'm gonna stay in that division with one of my losers, the New England Patriots.
Well, I'm intrigued to hear this. So losers, New England Patriots.
They bring in Cam Newton, who was the only starting quarterback in the league not to throw double-digit touchdowns last year. They bring in Aguilar.
I like the Aguilar.
Kendrick Bourne is, for me, I like Bourne better than Aguilar. Aguilar sucked with the Eagles.
He did. He had a really good year last year, though. I picked him up in fantasy.
1 year doesn't justify.
But it's on and off every other year, so that means he's not going to be good again until next year.
2 year, $22 million. So, and they go and get tight ends. We know Belichick loves his tight ends.
I love the tight end moves.
Juno Smith along with Hunter Henry.
Right.
Hunter Henry and even Juno, because I had him in fantasy, had problems staying healthy. And they go both from, okay, Juno was in Tennessee, so it does get a bit cold there.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one's on the West Coast, and now they come to.
Yeah.
Matt Judon, Jalen Mills. They brought back Vinoy. Vinoy got released from a huge, 1 year into a huge deal that he signed with the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Flores was the guy that made Vinoy who he is.
Right.
And he couldn't work out there. There's a red flag there.
Yeah, something's up with that because Van Noy I really thought was a great signing for the Dolphins last year. So I was kind of suspect on that, but they've made a lot of moves. And I'll go through these moves here. Newton, obviously, they signed James White today to 1 year, $2.5 million. Nelson Aguilar, who had a really good year decent year last year with the Raiders and Carr. Bourne, who's always been one of those players that all right, you can see him taking a step. I feel like with the right quarterback, he can really take it off. Smith is a great pickup, but he's another one that health issues that kind of worried me. Trent Brown. Isn't it funny how some New England Patriot players, they go elsewhere, and Brown wasn't terrible last year, and then they end up coming back. So the Brown pickup is a really nice move for them. I like that.
Who's going to play left tackle though? Because they did get Marcus Cannon, and both of them are long in the tooth.
Yeah, but after didn't they trade Marcus Cannon to the Texans, or did they? I think they traded.
They did.
So they traded Cannon to the Texans, and I forgot they got picks out of it though.
Who's going to replace Joe?
I don't know. I have no clue.
That's the other thing. Cam Newton was running for his life, and Cam still thinks he can run.
Mm-hmm. So
Belichick systems for a pocket quarterback.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I actually have the Patriots as one of my winners. I think the AFC East did a really good job. I like these pickups because some of this is kind of slick. Raquan McMullen, who with Flores the last 2 years, it's really weird to see Belichick kind of pick away coming those Dolphins players who he knew Flores and how things are going. So it's crazy, man. I really, really like what I've seen from them, and they've got to make the only move that I'm kind of suspect with, and this is not to bash Cam Newton, is the Cam Newton move. Everything else I kind of like around it. Now maybe a whole nother year in this offense, maybe Cam and they've got something cooked up, maybe. I think last year was rough on them because they were missing a lot of players on defense, and it just didn't seem like they were connecting.
Patrick Chung retired.
Yeah, Patrick Chung retired.
And, this is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you look at what they've spent so far, and I haven't even figured in James White.
Right.
Okay, so they have spent the second most in NFL history in free agency behind the Dolphins last year.
Mm-hmm.
And in the previous 10 years, they spent just a little over double that to help out Tom Brady.
Right.
So why is the desperation now? Is it trying to save Belichick's persona of the greatest coach? I mean, what is it? What's going on? Why couldn't they spend this money when they had Brady and still get all them rings? They could have had more rings.
And we got a 3-point conversion watching on YouTube. What's up?
Thank you,
my
Raphael.
man Raphael. Make sure y'all check out the 3-point sports lounge that comes on Saturdays. They got battlegrounds going on right now, so that's good stuff. So thanks for checking out, brother. Always much love on that.
Brian Langford says one thing is it's hard to repeat. There hasn't been a repeat champ since 03-04. Who was those repeat though?
I think it was the Patriots. I think it was the Patriots the last one that repeated. He said Seattle and KC got close. They can tell you how hard it is to even go back to the Super Bowl, which is true. I mean, it's a really tough deal, and we all thought that easily this year. And most people thought, oh man, Brady's in the game, but we're talking about Pat Mahomes here. But, to be honest with you, Pat Mahomes has shown some moments over the last year or two where it's like, even last year when they won the Super Bowl, how many times were they down in games and they had to make miraculous comebacks to get in there? So there's maybe some flaws and holes in there that is starting to poke through. But I got a loser for you. This is easy for me. This is an easy loser right here. This is my number one loser. And yes, you can say, "Oh, that's a homer pick." It is. I'm not even going to lie to you. But
you're pissed about the Kevin King one. That's what makes him a loser. Be honest.
It's frustrating. But I knew that Green Bay didn't have the money. So obviously we're losing because we don't have the money to really spend, and that's how we are as an organization. My biggest problem, I like having Aaron Jones back. Some of my fellow Packer friends, they're like, nah, bruh, he's too much money. They're already ready for the Jordan Love era, but I'm going to let that one fly for another day, too. But Aaron Jones, I like the Aaron Jones contract because you got him 2 more years. We can see if, he's going to be worth keeping for the whole 4.
And it was good for them to redo the Smith brothers contracts.
Right.
You need middle linebacker, but you also need to replace that center.
Yeah. Yeah, got to replace that center.
The number 1 center in the league by PFF.
I got a feeling they're going to probably put Jenkins in that spot. Jenkins probably get the spot, and that would be my guess.
Jenkins is very versatile.
Yeah. He can do he can do a little bit of everything. So I just don't like the Kevin King one. So I'm definitely calling him a loser on that. It's aggravating to me.
I specifically went to see who UCLA had in this draft to see who you were going to take in the first round, bro.
Because you already know how that go, man. You know we picking somebody from LSU.
Now, see, speaking of Corey Lindsey, one of my winners is the Chargers.
Chargers did a really good job.
They were able to keep most of that defense together except Melvin Ingram, which, I would let him walk.
Right.
He has been up and down. You get Bosa back healthy, but, Justin Herbert shined.
Yeah, and then they picked up Jared Cook, veteran tight end, so that's a nice pickup there.
You got a center, and then one on the down low was guard Matt Feeler. He actually was in the top 25 in PFF in guard ranking. And to be honest, until he signed, I'd never heard of the bro. Never. So for me, I was just like, okay, I got to do something. And so they're doing what they can to protect Herbert to give him more time to make those passes down the field.
Right.
But because I think he had the honor of taking over the most sacks by a rookie quarterback from David Carr.
That's a tough one. And you know what? They've had more. I feel bad for the Chargers because there was a couple of games this year that they probably should have won that they lost either in the fourth quarter. There was a couple games. I think they played the Broncos in one game. They were winning, and the Broncos came back and scored on the last possession. And then there was one that they had, a chance to take the lead at the end, and they threw the ball in the end. So it looked like it was a touchdown, but his foot stepped out, and they ended up losing that game. It was a couple games. It was like 4 or 5 games that we could have easily been talking about. Well, what a great year for the Chargers, and Anthony Lynn is still the head coach there. That we were close to that. So I mean, I like what the Chargers did. I thought they had a pretty good.
But they get also one of the. I'm glad he's not on my team because he can't stay healthy. But Derwin James is coming back too.
Yeah.
So
I want to go over a couple teams real quick that have done a lot of work. Texans. The Texans signed. They traded for Ryan Finley. They signed Tyrod Taylor, which is a good backup quarterback. One, two. If Deshawn is not there, Tyrod, who lost his job without even really playing last year, which he just keeps getting that luck. He's a solid sign there in Houston. Mark Ingram goes there on the cheap. They also get Philip Lindsay, which I thought was and you even said you thought it was a mistake the Broncos let him go. He's a really nice pickup for that team.
He's great, and Gordon, can he stay healthy? And Gordon's in Denver, correct?
Right, Gordon's in Denver.
Can he stay healthy? I mean, that was the MO. That's why he was released from the Chargers. I liked Lindsey. I really like undrafted free agent, and then just comes in 1,000 yards rushing, does his thing. Why? Don't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's had some injuries here and there, and I know that's kind of been, a little bit tough on him. But I really like this for Houston. Then they got Marcus Cannon in the trade, Andre Roberts, who's been, a special teams guy here and there. He's had some moments. They got Shaq Lawson from the Dolphins in a trade. Now, they love trading with the Dolphins. I don't know what type of partnership they got going on there. Christian Kirksey, who was with the Packers last year, they signed him. Vernon Hargrave re-signs for 1 year. They got Desmond King from the Chargers.
Hey, that's a good pickup.
Yeah, they got Derek Rivers, who used to be with the Patriots. They drafted him a couple years ago. Ryan Izzo, former Patriot.
Wasn't Rivers their first pick? It was like a second rounder.
I think he was I want to say he was I think he was a second round pick.
Their first pick of that draft.
Yeah. So they've given up Chris Conley, who's had decent moments. I like what Houston did. The Cincinnati Bengals they've had an all right one. It hasn't been bad. I mean, I've liked some of what they've done, and they look like they're trying to make this team better for hopefully a healthy Joe Burrow. So let's see, Eli Apple, Chidobe Azawui from I'm destroying that name. That's from Dallas, I believe. Troy Brown, they re-signed him. Mike Hilton from Pittsburgh.
But see, you skipped two of the most important ones. Riley Reef, because you need that veteran offensive lineman. Yeah, he's not a Pro Bowl or perennial Pro, but he will help the younger guys grow. And then Trey Hendrickson. Yeah,
nice pickup.
But the thing Henderson might have a problem with is he's not going to have Sheldon Rankins pushing that pocket back so he can get them sacks.
Right.
So
I look at all that. We've had some good ones. Oh, and Jacksonville.
Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills have had a good one. Let's look at Buffalo. Trubisky, very interesting one with Trubisky. I thought, but I mean that gives you a really solid backup quarterback. If something happens to Allen, Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes.
Really like the Emmanuel Sanders move.
Gives you at least 700-800 yards a year.
Exactly.
Along with Stefon Diggs.
Yep.
The only thing they need is if Buffalo needs one of the top two tight ends in this draft, that offense will be phenomenal.
Now they did sign Jacob Hollister, who had some decent moments with Seattle. He's always been a solid player, but their tight ends have not really been like, woo!
He's a better inline blocker, though.
Right.
So
that'll help them out. The only other team I want to talk about before we move on and we start doing our draft was the Jacksonville Jaguars. And your old head coach down there, Urban Meyer.
Until he has health problems and has to retire again.
So they've signed a lot of people. Now, they had a lot of money, too. So let's see. Carlos Hyde, which, Carlos Hyde is still a serviceable back.
But where did he go to college?
Ohio State. And then you got Jamal Agnew, Philip Dorsey, Marvin Jones.
It's Dorsett.
Dorsett, my fault. Philip Dorsett, Marvin Jones, Cam Robinson got the franchise tag. Malcolm Brown, they got him in a trade from New Orleans. Sidney Jones, who was a second-round pick a couple years ago for the Eagles. Shaquille Griffin. I like the move there.
Griffin has been a very big advocator. There was what's his name? Lewis, he was a wide receiver for the Raiders a couple years ago. I can't think of his first name. He played for Urban Meyer at Florida State, or not
at
State,
Florida.
at Florida, and Lewis Murphy.
Lewis Murphy.
Yeah, and so he's been advocating to these the free agents to come play for Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
The one that unsung that I liked was Jahard Ward from Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
He signed. He was a second-round pick, like maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But him in that 3-4 defense as an end is going to be great.
Well, like I said, Jacksonville's making moves. I mean, they obviously we know they got the first picks. They got 2 picks in that first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it looks to be the Trevor Lawrence show unless something magical happens. And then very intrigued to see where that next pick goes. If they try to continue to build on the offensive line, if
It's
they
going to
go
be because Meyer is going to think offense.
right.
You look at what they have offensively. The only thing they really got is Chark.
Right. And Chark is, and you called it a couple years ago. When Chark is on, man, Chark is
Lights out.
He's lights out. He's lights out. So much going on in NFL free agency. There's still a lot of guys out there that we'll probably be updating you on in the next couple of weeks, and any more big ones that happen.
I don't think there's going to be a lot. There'll be small signings.
Yeah.
But
It's
until the draft.
Until the draft happens, you won't see a lot of these
but
bigger
you're
names.
Like
Yeah. That
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, to me, I'm not surprised. He stays hurt. And then, like, he has one good game, and then he disappears.
Clemson
It's been like
curse. Clemson curse.
I'm telling you, bro, it's bad. All right, now we're going to swing over to our NFL mock draft. Me and Jay are going to do a first-round mock here. We haven't done a full first-round mock in about a year. But we usually do a main one right before, and we will be having a draft show this year, so be prepped for that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Jay. Let's make this thing happen here. All right, we got Jacksonville. Obviously has the first pick. Do you want to go first on this?
No, because
All right, well, because you want to do the Jets. That's fine. I'll do it.
I like the Jets.
All right, so I'll do the odds. You do the evens. First pick of the draft. This is obvious. When we just finished talking about it, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going there, and if they don't pick him, like I said before, I think it'll be a mistake for them not to pick him. Like, they kind of have to do it. The franchise is expecting it. The fans are expecting it. Do not pull a Houston Texans and draft Mario Williams, even though he was a Pro Bowler, when everybody was expecting Reggie Bush. So I think in this situation, you almost have to. Unless he comes out with something weird in the next couple of months or the next month, then I think Trevor Lawrence is your guy.
Okay, now with the Jets, Sam Darnold is still there. They've gotten calls. They've had offers of second-round picks for him.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't moved him.
Right.
So it makes you wonder, are they going to actually go quarterback here? I don't believe so. So I think they're going to go with Sewell, the offensive tackle from Oregon.
All right, so which is probably the best move, and they need to continue to protect. They've built small pieces here and there. We've seen what they've done in free agency. I think that's the best move for them. I mean, if you're going to keep Sam Darnold, this is the best move.
The only other way would be to go with Jamar Chase.
Right, and I can see them going receiver there.
But that's a bit high for a wide receiver.
Yeah, and you just signed 2 receivers, plus you got Mims from last year. So you also have to look at that as well. But Sewell just seems like the best fit if you're not going to draft a quarterback here. They got Becton last year. To me, it makes the most sense. The Dolphins are picking 3rd, and for me, and I know they're not going tight end here because a lot of people starting to scream Kyle Pitts is going to be a top 5 guy. I don't know about all that just yet. But for me, I'm going to go with Jamar Chase.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, he don't hate it.
Because, why? Because I can never say his name. Gaminsky, the Penn State guy from 2 years ago, that really started coming on late last year with Tungataiola. I can say that, but never mind. All right, so with the Falcons, and the 4th pick is Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
BYU. They're going quarterback. It's time to break down and rebuild. I saw something that Dimitrov said he would not have drafted Julio Jones if he, hindsight's 2020, if he'd have known the production he'd have got. He never made that trade with the Browns to get him.
Okay. Oh, man, that's different. Oh, man. Well, he's gone now. So I like the Zach Wilson move. I think some people may clamor for Justin Fields here because he is the hometown guy. But I mean, if Zach Wilson is, they scream about his accuracy, they like his poise. I mean, if you're going to make the leap to move on from him, this might be the time.
Alex Max is gone. The last two, high round or offensive line players that the Falcons got have sucked. Justin Fields would be bad here because he gonna get broken.
Oh my goodness. Well, so let's see. Bengals. The Bengals at 5. This one to me is a little bit tough. Like, if they were going to make the move and
AJ Green's gone.
AJ Green is gone. So and John Ross is gone, but John Ross wasn't doing anything anyway.
Tyler Boyd.
So you get Boyd and
Higgins.
Higgins.
Higgins had one of the best statistically rookie years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't yards and touchdowns, but
he was productive.
Contested catches and yak. Great.
This is tough for me. Maybe. I don't even know what their tight end situation is like. I don't even know if I would Kyle Pitts it here or not. But they do need offensive line help, and the next best offensive lineman is Rashawn Slater. So I mean, you want to continue to protect Burrow. You saw what happened in that Washington game. That injury is not what you want to see from your star quarterback. So I mean, I don't know if he goes this high or if they slip back.
But they could slip back. But don't forget the other side of the ball. There's defense that could be I mean, you're setting at 5.
Patrick Surtain,
And, could be a reach, but I mean, at the same time, pass rusher.
Yep, it could go pass rusher.
Lawson's gone.
Yep, they lost Lawson.
Their talk, Geno Atkins gonna get cut. I mean, everything there. They let the only good defensive player they got is Jesse Bates.
And that's tough when that's the only one you got left. Because they lost, they lost
Jackson the third.
Yeah, they lost what's the guy they lost to Washington? Is that they lost for a cornerback to Washington? I don't know. I'm just gonna be weird here. I'm gonna pick Slater. They need offensive line help.
I
need offensive line help.
But Micah Parsons would have been a good one there too.
Yeah.
Because his versatility and his speed reminds me kind of Devin White. And where was Devin White drafted?
Yeah, I bet you know.
No, he was drafted 5th.
Well, I know he was drafted 5th, but I bet you know where he was drafted.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely.
My beautiful team.
My dreams are still being hunted by Devin White. Shame on you, Devin.
So we are to the Eagles, and are they sold on Jalen Hurts? No, we want Nate Suffield. There I'm gonna go. This hurts because I think he's a good guy, but he is the next best wide receiver, in my opinion. Well, you know what? Fuck it, it's my draft. Jalen Waddle. I'm gonna go with him.
So Waddle moves and goes to Philadelphia. Now another team, the Lions, also need receiver help.
They pulled out. They got Jared Goff. Jared Goff was a smart move. I love Jared Goff being in your division.
I love it too. And then we got Andy Dalton to deal with and Kirk Cousins. So
Pick City. Oh wait, you brought Kevin King back. Never mind. He'll bat him down.
Look, we'll be all right in the division. It's just when we got to play other teams, I got to worry about. We should be 6-0 in the division, but I'm not gonna hold my breath because Chicago will probably be tough and sneak one on us. Somebody's gonna sneak one on us. That's how they did us last year. The next best receiver in this draft, obviously, is Smith. Now we know the history. We know the Lions' history when it comes to receivers in the draft.
Receivers and tight ends.
So they it's either one here, but they've got Hawkinson, and Hawkinson has been improving slowly, but he's definitely been improving. So I'm gonna go Devontae Smith here, even though he kind of size-wise, and we talked about this, would remind me of how Charles Rogers was when he was coming out. I'm Charles Rogers, 68 catches, 13 touchdowns. I'm Charles Rogers.
Rest in peace.
Sing the song.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Every time I think about that Madden, and Ray Lewis is screaming at him, sing the song. I love it. All right, I had a moment. I apologize.
See, the linebacker from Notre Dame, I would like to see here. They need defensive help big time.
You think he'll leap that high? Is he moving up the boards like that?
I haven't. I've heard whispers of his pro day,
Mm-hmm.
but he ran a high 4.4, and a man that size running that,
Right.
get away from the cops' feet.
Real fast.
So with the Carolina Panthers, I'm going Justin Fields.
This makes a ton of sense because if they're not, you haven't heard that much since the Watson stuff come out. Because remember, they were the big player.
And they were ready.
They
to
were in there.
send, you know,
They was gonna give a kidney away.
CMC.
I think
Bridgewater.
Teddy. Yeah, they was gonna send everybody away.
And so
Yeah, so
definitely.
they got to go quarterback here if that's how you're feeling. So Justin Fields makes tons of sense. Next, you got the Broncos. This is intriguing because the Broncos they have Locke, and people say, well, maybe he's not the answer. They obviously just lost.
It's 1 year, man.
Yeah,
Give the guy a break.
I mean, he's only going into his third year. He showed flashes in his first year. He was hurt at the beginning of last year.
Jeff Driscoll looked better than him last year, though.
He did. He did. But I'm actually gonna go. I think they want to continue to upgrade that defense. You know, Vic Fangio is a defensive guy.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with Parsons here. I think they go and make the leap there. Either him or Patrick Surtain. I think that's going to be one of the picks because they love cornerbacks there.
Well, and I mean, they need help at corner.
They do. So
they were smart. I was really hoping they'd be dumb, but they locked Simmons up.
they did, didn't they?
They
Yeah,
did.
that was slick.
So oh wow, how the hell did I end up with Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, pray for me. Actually, this one for
He
me
said pray
actually
for me.
might be easy because the line's coming back pretty healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and they have wide receivers. They got Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
You took the linebacker that I would have took to help them.
Right.
So, oh man, it's so close. Damn, I'm going Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I've been hearing that. And you know what? If it was me, I probably would have picked Pitts here too. And the only reason why for me is because Jason Witten is obviously he's been gone a year or so now, but they really don't have a stud tight end. And
Right.
this is a Dallas move because look, they picked CeeDee Lamb last year when they didn't need a receiver.
But
Why not make that offense more high powered?
Pitts is somebody you can pull off, put in the slot, and he's still got speed to get
Mhm.
away from the linebackers and safeties.
Yeah, I would love this.
Yeah.
Now, if that ends up happening, I think that's a big thing for Dallas. And I know a lot of people are like, well, they don't really need, but it would be great if they're trying to really make that offense just
Right.
nasty, and he's there, and they don't have the defensive guy. That's the move you make.
I mean, because right now, I mean, there is no corner that has really solidified themselves
Mm-hmm.
away from the rest of the pack. So
Right.
for me, J.C. Horn or Fairley or Surtain is still a reach at this point.
Right. 11. I'm gonna go with Azizi Arjaluri, the edge rusher from Georgia, and I know I destroyed that. But the Giants want to continue to build on that. Look, the Giants have always been a team that on the defensive side, they're all about their defensive linemen. They the 2 Super Bowls that they won in the last 10, 15 years, why? Because their defensive line was phenomenal.
Now, see, I don't like it. I mean, yes, they need defensive help,
Mm-hmm.
but D'Aerosol is still sitting there, the Virginia Tech tackle.
Mm-hmm.
They got to build that line. Give Danny Dimes a little time.
Probably need a backup running back so they don't
Well-
have Gallman fumbling the football all over the place.
I know they took a lineman last year in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But Isaiah Wilson's out there drifting around.
I don't
he
know
was
if
picked up and then instantly cut.
I don't know if I would trust that. I mean, he's a great talent, but he can't stay out of trouble. And the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins did the right thing by letting him go. I mean, he's out here doing just crazy stuff on Instagram. Like, man, come on, man. If you don't want your career, just tell him. Tell him now. No need.
Oh, Ty. Cowboys may need to draft a head coach.
That's funny.
Becca, he did not mean that.
He did not. He is sorry. He apologizes. Next one, the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, let's see. Well, the Niners need everything. Actually, I think this is where we see Patrick Surtain go. Because Richard Sherman's gone. He's old,
Mm-hmm.
beyond old. Who's on the other side? Exactly.
I had to think about that a little bit. I don't know. No. Yep, I don't know. I don't know the other. I couldn't tell you right off the top of hand. Next one. the Los Angeles Chargers.
You
and
got
this,
it right. Yes.
I had to, but no, but Jay, you don't
You
understand.
had to slow down.
You don't know why I took my time to say it. Look, I
Well,
want to make
man.
sure. I think they go Duracell here. I mean, because you like I said, they need off. They're continuing to build the offensive line, and they've done a great job so far. You got Balaga on the right side. You bring in Lindsey. Might as well, if you feel like this guy could be another piece on there. I mean, why not?
Not that I don't like it, but with Ingram being gone, pass rusher should be a number one thing here.
Yeah, but I mean, they still could sign him back. They haven't made the decision yet.
Pay from Michigan is still there available,
Mhm.
and he was phenomenal,
Mhm.
along with Jeremiah. I'm not even gonna say his last
Jeremiah was a buffalo.
name. From Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Usu.
Usakata.
We both say, like, don't give me this. I'm jacking it up.
So now on to the Minnesota Vikings. I really want to draft Trey Lance here, just because Kirk Cousins sucks ass.
Yeah.
But let's see. Well, I heard a lot of people don't like Anthony Barr anymore. They say he's overpaid and underplays. So I'm going with Jeremiah here, the Notre Dame linebacker.
I don't need nobody else coming out there, Aaron Rodgers. All right, next one.
Well, they took some lessons from when you all played us a couple times.
You know what, man? I have nothing I can say about this. I'm just going to move on. Next, the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, we talked about earlier, if New England is going to draft a quarterback, it's probably going to be Mac Jones. And so I don't know if they make the leap and go this high, because I don't think we've ever seen him draft a quarterback this high. But if it's going to be a quarterback, it's going to be this is the spot. You know what? I'm just going to do it, because I mean I really don't know if Cam is the guy. And then at least this way they can start developing him along the way. You know, that Saban Belichick connection. Right. I'm gonna take Mac Jones there.
The Cardinals have been just on the sneak, having a good free agency.
Really good free agency.
They've got a lot of veteran talent.
J.J. Watt, A.J. Green.
So, I mean, potentially 2 Hall of Famers.
Right.
Well, we know J.J. Watt's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But Patrick Peterson is a free agent.
Yeah, he's a Viking now.
Yeah.
That.
So I'm gonna go J.C. Horn.
I was looking at the same thing. J.C. Horn's a good pick there. I mean, that just continuing to build this young team
And
with a hint of veteranship in there.
now, J.C. Horn has NFL pedigree. His father is Joe Horn.
The legendary
The
Joe
leg-
Horn.
The
Legendary.
cell phone out of the goalpost.
It doesn't get any better than that, people.
Yes,
It
sir.
doesn't get any better than that. Oh, man. Raiders here, they can go linebacker. They can go offensive tackle.
They brought back Mariota.
They brought back Mariota, which I really thought he was going to end up in Washington. I thought they were going to try to find a way to pull a trigger on that. I like Fitzpatrick there, though. I still think he will be a good bridge quarterback until they figure out what they want to do there.
I hate to say this, but he wrong color.
Yeah, but he ain't exactly,
I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's like a mixed chain. Look!
It's a mixed jank.
It's a mixed chain. All right, I'm going to go with Tevin Jenkins here, the Oklahoma State offensive tackle.
That's a bit high for Jenkins. I know he's the next best on this one,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually like, and he's been fallen, but Cosme from Texas. I really like what he did with Sam Ellinger running around.
Right.
His mobility impressed me. So, just throwing it out there.
Understood.
So now back. Oh look, the Dolphins again! Yay!
I'm going to see if your mind is where my mind is on this one. I'm intrigued.
My mindless.
Don't say that.
Well, because let's see, the Dolphins had they traded Drake. And
Yeah, Drake's gone.
They couldn't keep anybody healthy.
Nobody.
Running back wise.
Not a soul. Amar was there for a while. He had 1-2 good games. I can't think of the other guy's name, but their running back situation was abysmal most of the year.
He had a bad end of the year, and this guy, I'm gonna go Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Is that where your mind was?
Yeah, that was my mind was. That was my mind was. They need a running back.
They need a number one running back.
To be honest with you, if they drafted 2 running backs in this first round, I wouldn't even be shocked. That's how bad that is. That's how bad that is.
Now you got the Washington football team.
The Washington. See, this is where it gets really interesting.
Trey Lance.
In my mind, I want to do that, but I don't think I will. Only because I think Fitzpatrick. They really want to see what Heineke can do, and I think they're gonna give him a full chance. So I don't see it happening. And then they still have Kyle Allen there, so quarterback is not really a problem just yet because they don't know what they're gonna have with this group. So
Pass rusher is not. I mean, their front seven is stacked, but there is 2 places they can improve upon. What are they?
I would say if you're gonna do anything, I always felt like linebacker and offensive line was their 2 spots.
I would say
Because they had a decent. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sheriff and Moses are really good,
Where's Sheriff at?
and he's a guard.
Where is he still with?
Yeah, he's still with him. And then what's my man's name? Sheriff. What's the center
Wes
name?
Martin.
Wes Martin is still there, but I can't think of the center's name. Ross is his first name, but the center has been pretty decent. I don't know why I can't think of his last name. But I mean, why not continue to build that offensive line? But I would have went receiver here. This receiver would have been my spot here. I would have went with Bateman, but I'm gonna go with the USC offensive lineman. They need to continue to build that. Then they got to find the right pieces there. So that's where I'll go.
Vera Tucker.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We know who Chicago go get. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go evil.
I hate to do this to them, but yeah, they're going Trey Lance.
Yep, sure are. They sure are. You got to.
They got to pull the trigger because
man. They've got to make it happen.
Andy Dalton.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Who's Andy Dalton's backup? Nick Foles.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the Colts at 21. Now I kind of want to pick Bateman here, but they did lose Ty. Or he hasn't signed anywhere just yet.
They got Pittman Jr.
They've got
Paris Campbell.
Who was hurt. He was hurt last year. So do you do that? I know they're not going to go running back here, so Travis Etienne is not the move there. God, this is.
But they also, they lost on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm not saying it's a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
They brought back Xavier Rhodes for 1 year.
Right.
But the safety from Ohio State. I can't think of his name.
Hooker.
Yeah, Malik Hooker is gone.
See, and I was kind of thinking that too with the safety. So I'll go with safety here because I was leaning towards that. It was either going to go that or cornerback.
The only safety that's ranked for me in the top 2 rounds.
As this guy from TCU. I'm not going to destroy his name. Trayvon Maheeg. We're going to go there. I'll go there. We're still doing our studying. I know Jay's been studying for a while. I'm still getting crisp with the names, but we got before we get ready.
Tennessee Titans, everything looks pretty, solid there. They did lose Corey Davis. Bateman would be a nice pick, but knowing, Vrabel and the way he works, he's going to go with Kwity Paye, the edge rusher from Michigan.
Kwity Paye.
Now, this is what's interesting to me is we're at 23. And neither one of the stars Miami pass rushers have been taken off the board.
No, not yet. Now, the Jets, Jaguars are signing C.J. Beathard. Oh, okay.
Chase Roulette.
Chase Roulette. There it is. Chase, thank you. Is that that's my man Steven. Yeah. So Chase is their center, and Chase has had really good years there in Washington.
Now, Ryan Anderson went to the Giants. I was so depressed because I expected great things from Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, but somebody, I think it might have been Steven, and I think I saw on one of the posts, and it was like, yeah, they're just signing him to learn the Washington offense. So here, if the Jets wanted to go receiver, if you want to go receiver again, you can do that here. But then I think I'm going to swing with the Virginia Tech cornerback here in Farley. Fairly. They're continuing, like Slay's going to try to put his defensive imprint on this team. And I think that's where their mind is kind of going. They're going to get some offensive players and build there, but I'm going to go with Fairley.
The only other player that I would see going here besides defensive side, who's the Jets running back? Frank Gore.
So you could go Etienne here. You could.
Yeah.
You could. They got what's the kid's name? LaMichael Perrine.
Perrine.
Perrine was but he had some.
did decent.
He
but,
did decent, yeah.
So for me sitting here at 24 with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Connor being gone,
You gotta take him.
I'm going definitely Travis Etienne.
You gotta take him. I mean, if you, I was looking at that. I'm like, man, if that falls to Pittsburgh, that's a beautiful deal for them.
Absolutely.
Let's see, Jacksonville's on the board here. Let's see, offensive attack. I think they've signed receivers, so I don't know if I would personally go receiver here. I mean, unless you just want to stack the board, because they got Marvin Jones, who's a solid pickup. You got Chark. They've got what's the kid's name? I don't know. I'm having a whole mind blank. But
well, there's two sides to the ball also.
right. So if you're gonna go defense, oh man, you know what? Why not? You want to continue to make things happen. Let's go with the Miami pass rusher.
Which one?
I'm gonna go with Phillips. I'm gonna go with Phillips. We'll go
Not
Phillips.
bad, but I actually have Gregory Rosen.
As a higher.
Way higher.
Way higher.
Way higher. For me, Phillips is a late first rounder, early second rounder.
Early second rounder.
And, Gregory could go top 15, my opinion. But,
Okay.
what we got on here is a problem.
What we
The Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns, I mean, kudos to them. They got to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty good. Needed to make one play.
Right.
Didn't happen. Shit happens.
It happens. They had that game.
They did.
God, they had that game. God, Cleveland.
And
Close your ears, LA. Close your ears.
They brought back quite a few people, and so
They've had a nice off-season too. They've picked up some names. They've done a good job.
their secondary. I've been, Harrison did all right.
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward's great.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I think they just picked up another safety.
They don't have Peppers. I can't think of what Peppers went to
No,
New York.
Peppers is Giants.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm having a whole brain doozy
Me
today.
too.
I'm having a brain doozy today.
This is where I wish I had 3 screens up. So I
You'll
could
be like,
look
look, you'll be the JB up here. You have your whole Mel Kiper dream going on here.
Right. So, the other area of need, Tiki Waka Waka, I can't say his name. Their second round pick from last year had a great thing.
Yeah.
So for me,
Tiki Waka Waka.
I think I'm going to go, and I think he's the best linebacker. Bolton's close, but I'm going to go with Collins from Tulsa.
Oh, man.
What?
I'm hoping I get lucky and that he falls to us.
Well, last time there was a linebacker there that you wanted, his name was T.J. Watt.
And then the last time I wanted the linebacker before then, it was Patrick Queen. And guess what? Both times, they were the next pick. Both times, they were the next pick.
Speaking of Patrick Queen,
Oh, my
the
God.
Ravens are on the clock.
I tell you what, you made a great point with Gregory. If edge is your number one concern here, why not go with a guy who could be a top 10 guy
And
here?
Matt Judon's gone.
Yeah, you might as well.
But
Mm-hmm.
they still need a wide receiver.
They do, but see, this is what's weird about this team. Like,
Bateman is still on the board.
they need it.
You got Tooney and then Moore from Purdue are still on the board.
Whew, that's a tough one. I want them to go wide. They need a veteran wide receiver. That's the real problem. Like, Hollywood's good. When
The last time they had a good wide receiver was
Derek Mason.
Well, Derek Mason, yes,
Yeah.
but Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith. I'll go Bateman here, but I don't
John
know.
Johnson. Thank you, Larry Patterson. John Johnson was the safety from the
They got him from the Rams. Yeah, they got him from the Rams.
And he is a ball hawk, and he will hit somebody in the hole.
Well, they've had really good. Like I said, the Browns are another team that's had a really good offseason. And they've continued to get better. Let me see if I can, because I want to go over that real quick before I'll find it. But I'm gonna go with Bateman on my pick.
Just to keep it moving on.
Yeah, just